The biggest misconception is that walking by faith and living for God is easy. It's easier than living in the world. And I'll tell you what, you do have a God that created everything with you. But here's the thing, living for God and walking by faith is truly hard. Elijah in the Bible literally said, God, I want to die. Just take me out this world. I don't want to live anymore. And I'll be honest with you, I've been in that season where I really understand how Elijah felt. I really understand the trials Elijah went through, the things Elijah went through, walking in the promises of God, walking by faith and not by sight. It is challenging. And even though you're walking in the will of God, the enemy is going to attack you more because he sees what God has for you. And right when you're walking into that promised land, the enemy is really going to try to attack you with idols. The children of God, when they left Egypt and they were going into Israel, that he attacked them with idols. He attacked them with all these different things, false gods. But we need to stand firm and keep on that narrow path. Strive after what God has for you. Strive on that narrow path, what God told you to do, how God told you to act. Follow his word, walk by faith, not by sight, and walk in the spirit so we do not gratify the desires of the flesh. That does not mean that you won't have depression sometimes. That does not mean that you won't have anxiety sometimes. But God says that the fruit of the Spirit is patience, that the fruit of the Spirit is faith, and that these two gifts right here, these two gifts, patience and faith, they work together in balance, because you cannot have faith if you don't have patience. You cannot walk in the Spirit if you do not have faith. And you need patience to see the promises of God, because the promises don't happen overnight. But the word says that you reap what you sow, for God is not mocked. You reap what you sow. And so I don't even know what you've been sowing, but God knows what you're sowing, and you have not been forgotten by God. Keep walking by faith and not by sight. Keep walking in the Spirit, and you will reap what you have been sowing. It ain't gonna be easy, but cast your cares upon God. It says, even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. Your rod and your staff, you comfort me. And the word says that, come to me all who are burdened and heavy laden, and I will give you rest.